December 29th. It's the end of the year, and that means it's a top 5 list.
Hooray!
We were going to make it top 10, but our thing at the bottom only fits 5. So it's 5 now. Spinelli's here.
We're going to take what you can get.
We're going to talk about the most important things that happen in cars in 2008. I'm Matt Farah, and you're watching Garage419.
This episode of Garage419 is brought to you by Valvoline's automotive series Under the Hood with Brandon and the Frog. Watch for new episodes at brandonandthefrog.com.
All right, Spinelli.
Yes.
The 5th most important thing to happen in cars this year is the phenomenal sales of the Mini Cooper. It wasn't the best-selling car out there, but it Automotive News rated as the hardest car to get. And what that meant was it had fewer than a one-day supply of cars at every dealer for the entire year. So what does that say to you about the Mini Cooper?
Well, I mean, obviously BMW is pretty good at managing supply and demand on that thing to keep resale values up, which
right,
is
keep
something
Bangle designs out of showrooms and you sell cars. That's what you do. Right.
Well, I mean, it's also, resale values are up, but I mean, they've been pretty lucky at, being in a segment that people want to buy from.
Well, yeah, for most of the year, I mean, small cars, efficient cars were the thing. Now that gas has dropped back down, people are going back to trucks a little bit, but the Mini is still popular. I think it says if you're going to have a small car, people want more than just a little crap econo box. They want a semblance of luxury, so good leather. They want it to feel nice when you drive it. They want to have nice customizable features, and they want it to if it's not going to go fast in a straight line, it certainly has to handle well.
Yeah. Well, it all falls under build an appealing product and we will buy it.
I know, this is rocket science.
Rocket science.
You'd be amazed at how difficult that actually is to find. Speaking of appealing products, there's a guy named Max Mosley. He runs a little organization you may have heard of called the FIA. The appealing product for him: hookers dressed as Nazis.
Okay, so that's he was caught on videotape, right?
Yeah, with 5 Nazi hookers in an orgy. Basically.
Well, wait. Isn't this how everybody
Allegedly?
got in trouble by describing it as Nazi hookers? I mean,
Right.
I thought it was just.
I'm sorry, they weren't Nazi hookers. They were just dressed up in brown army uniforms and screaming at him in German, sort of like his father, the Nazi, did to other people. So no, they were not Nazi hookers. Just to be clear.
Just to be clear.
I don't want to accuse him of anything.
Well,
like being a Nazi, but he was with Nazi hookers.
Well, I mean, I don't know how to.
He was allegedly.
How do I follow that?
He was allegedly with Nazi hookers on videotape, where you can see his face. He's wearing a diaper with Nazi hookers.
I think it actually helped him out. I honestly think. I mean, I don't know. The whole Nazi thing aside, I think it really helped him out because it's just been so. F1 has been seen as so stodgy lately. That,
right.
Hey, you know what? A little S&M.
True. We've got black people doing very well at the top. Lewis Hamilton doing very well, and then we've got the big boss acting like a Nazi.
It's what we call edgy.
Yeah. Like this show.
Right.
The number 3 most important story in cars this year is the death of the factory-backed racing program. Unfortunately, times are tight. Money is not there. And car companies are finding better things to do with their money than sponsor their racing teams. So we've got Honda F1 is gone. Audi's dropping out of the American Le Mans series. And we've got even Ferrari Formula One has Tata Motors sponsors on the car.
Wow. Wait, isn't Porsche even leaving ALMS?
Yeah, actually yes.
Well,
Porsche
not
is
all
too.
of it, right? Just the
prototype class. Yeah, they're still gonna sell the 911 RSRs and the 911 Cup cars for Grand Am as well as for ALMS.
Those are awesome.
But the question is, I mean, isn't it important? And I said this in the last show to have a factory-backed racing program. I mean, people are still going to want to get out and race these cars, and without this full support of the factory, I mean, how do you even know what is going to be reliable, what's going to be fast, what's going to work? Who even knows?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, unless you're getting direct trickle down from the engineering, all the money that's going into engineering, because all right, first of all, if you're Ferrari, yes, you have to race.
Of course.
Wherever that,
Which
the
is
money,
why you end up with Tata stickers on your car.
Well, or you also make money on T-shirts and stuff too. I mean,
That's true,
so
yeah.
there's that. But also, Honda, used to use their F1 program to train their regular engineers because that deadline comes.
Yeah, Honda was smart.
There's no slipping deadline day.
Yeah,
it's race day. That's it.
Honda would actually rotate all of their engineers through the race program.
Right. So. But considering how much money that it costs to be in F1, Honda was spending, $500 million,
give or take,
on like a on a program that wasn't really doing very well.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll come back though.
Well, yeah, I mean, Honda's been racing for a long time. They have to kind of figure out a way to make it work for them in whatever way that they can.
Yeah.
Mazda, though, isn't Mazda picking up the slack
a little bit,
in ALMS, too?
Yeah.
So,
and Grand Am also.
Companies that aren't seeing a direct benefit are definitely going to be out.
Well, you know what's funny? I don't care so much about the prototype stuff and about F1 as I do about making really good sports racing cars, the GT class cars and that kind of stuff. And as long as those factory back programs are there, because the little guy who's racing a GT3 Cup or even that new the Audi R8 GT3, those are the guys who are going to want to have that factory support. An F1 team with $500 million to spend on research doesn't need as much factory support as those guys. When we come back, we're going to talk about the top 2 stories. Top 2 stories of 2008. Stick around.
Frog and I had a bet, I lost, and this is payback. By losing this bet, you've given me an opportunity to teach people about cars using the most tried and true method of all, primal urge. It's all about not being a severe driver. And sometimes we have to remind ourselves. Sensitivity training.
I demand a lot from my cars. I drive them on the highway, drive them on the racetrack. I even drive them in and out of New York City in the dead of winter with the top down. But I can do all that because I take care of my cars, and if you take care of your car, it won't let you down. And sometimes, you gotta show your car a little love, just like Brandon the Frog do. Check out their latest episode of Under the Hood over at brandonandthefrog.com. While you're there, check out their last 3 car care episodes in their full-length glory. I'm gonna be there checking out their episodes, so I'll see you there. All right, we're back, and it's time to bring this down a notch, actually to turn the show kind of into a downer, where we talk about the people who we lost this year in the car world. Andrea Pininfarina, head of the design house.
Terrible loss. I mean, a company that really was on its way back, and one of the only Italian design houses that really had a trajectory to be profitable again.
I think they still do, but unfortunately it'll be without him. He actually designed the Testarossa himself. That was his little project there. Then, of course, you've got Boyd Connington, the most famous of probably hot rod builder of all time.
Yeah, and I think Boyd Connington got a real... I don't know, I just feel like a lot of people thought he was an a-hole from some of the shows...
The reality show.
Yeah. He actually is a seriously nice guy, or was, an excellent guy, and was really important in bringing the the old style hot rods, keeping the flame kind of for those cars, and making metal work a kind of high art.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
So he really deserves praise.
And then of course there's Scott Collitta, a famous Top Fuel drag racer who was killed at Englishtown this year, which actually sparked a safety kind of what's the word there?
Backlash kind of.
Yeah, and they're actually finished out the season running a 1,000-foot track instead of a full quarter-mile track, and it's currently undetermined what's going to happen with nitro cars next year in terms of a racing length. Lastly, Paul Newman.
Oh.
Paul Newman.
How do you even start to talk about Paul Newman?
Yeah, big car guy. Lime Rock was his home track. Did a lot of the IMSA racing in the 80s and 90s, and then moved on to further endurance races. I mean, pretty much right up until his death.
Yeah, I mean, just the coolest, guy. The nicest guy, a fantastic racer. Really. As far as actors making racing cool, the king of that.
Yeah, you've got, of course, with actors, you got James Dean, you got Steve McQueen, and then you've got basically Paul Newman right there. What's his name?
Frankie Muniz?
Patrick Dempsey does not make racing cool. I'm sorry. Frankie Muniz, no, he doesn't make racing cool.
Sorry, yeah.
All right, now off of the sadness and back onto the 2 most important stories in car news this year.
Hit me.
Number 2 is basically the overtaking of the Nürburgring as the performance benchmark for all car guys to judge a car's performance by.
Yeah, the ring, I think before last year, I mean, especially this year, with a lot of the rivalries that have popped up on the ring, like, it was only real racing. People who were into racing, or car geeks who knew what the Nürburgring was. Now the Nürburgring is like, the institution of, that says sports cars.
Well, it's so weird because I think it was actually some of the spy photographers that really started it.
Yes.
And it was just a guy sitting on a hill, and every time a car would pass this flagpole, he'd hit the stopwatch, and they would, all of a sudden, it's these unofficial lap times being released, which fuels fire on internet forums and blogs and yada, 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 yada.
Well, you just hit it right there. Internet forums. I mean, it's about, that is the internet benchmark for car performance now. It's because of the internet. There's so much content coming from the Nürburgring that now, I mean, that's what people use to determine whether a car is good or not. It's it's a great way to tell whether how a car is going to perform. So.
Well, it really is the entire spectrum of uphill, downhill, left, right, fast, slow. Just endurance and every type of driving condition imaginable. You can literally get the lifetime of a car in a few hours on the Nürburgring. So
yeah, and it's real internet video ready.
It's definitely internet video friendly, and we've taken advantage of that more than once. The number one story, surprise, surprise, the death of the U.S. auto industry and subsequent bailout. I mean,
rebirth.
What what else is left to say about this? I mean, we've covered this topic pretty extensely so far. Well, I mean,
the big thing I think is that we may just be at the beginning because, we haven't. We're getting at the end of an administration that's paying for it. Now, don't forget, Congress said, we're not going to pay extra for this.
Right.
We've already given, the executive branch license to send out $700 billion in stuff to the financial industry, that car makers have to pull from that pool. But
here's the real problem, though, is that the reason people aren't buying cars right now is not because of anything bailout related. It's because the people don't have any money. There's no more credit. You can't lease a car anymore, really, unless your credit is just so amazing that people couldn't wait to give you a deal. You know what I mean? People who could a year ago buy a car that was a little out of their price range because they could get good lease terms or good finance terms, they can't buy a car at all now. They've got no credit. They've got whatever their debt they're carrying, and so the bailout may help pay these workers' salaries for whatever period of time, however long it lasts. But in between now and then, it's not like people are all of a sudden going to go out and start buying cars.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, now we're starting to realize what a freaking party it was for the last couple of years. I mean, it was like people are swapping out of their cars.
Oh, who cares? We'll just lease another one.
Give me a 24-month lease on, on whatever. And it's like, now it's the reins have been pulled back and people are going, hold it.
Not to mention, think about all these lease returns. Think about how many SUVs, full-size SUVs, from the Suburbans to the Range Rovers and the Escalades and the Expeditions, these things are all leased.
Yeah,
I mean, people leased the hell out of these things. Right. They returned them, and now they're sitting on used car lots somewhere, and no one's buying those.
Yeah.
So that just drops used car values down. No one can afford a new car. I'm willing to bet the bailout money runs out before things get better.
Well, yeah, no, there's no doubt that I mean, these are loans we're talking about.
Yeah.
They're talking about the car companies are going to need another $100 billion.
Yeah.
This is the latest analysis that came out, was that they're going to need from the next administration, another
$100 billion.
I mean, come on, this is a long-term situation that we're in.
It's scary.
The union's making concessions. All that stuff is going to happen, but these guys want progress by March of next year.
It's not going to happen.
I can't imagine that they're going to really see a whole lot of progress.
Not unless a whole lot of people can get a whole lot of credit before then.
It's going to be about restructuring. If they can show that they've done a lot of internal restructuring, that they're ready to go, that means making deals with the unions, getting rid of excess staff, renegotiating a lot of that excess
it's not looking good.
The money that they have to pay for retirees and stuff.
It's a lot of work and not much time to do it. It's been a pretty rough year in cars, guys. But the good news is, I see there's a sunshine somewhere on the horizon out there, and us car guys, we still like to go fast and we still like to have fun with cars. So for all of 2008, the Garage419 crew, me, Spinelli, I got Sanchez over there, JF, and Tommy, and all the Garage419 crew. Thank you guys for watching this year, and we will see you in 2009 with more from the best motherfucking car show on the internet. I'm Matt Farah, and I am gonna go back to sleep.